Good.
Okay.
I have to remember that.
Down by Detroit, they were sending out emails. I think 10 o'clock was the first that I heard.
Hopefully it doesn't get too iced over, so I can go on the phone. Or maybe get my screen replaced. I don't know what's see what's cheap.
Tomorrow's supposed to be worse.
Is it?
Like when you'll post it, you don't want to.
Maybe.
Okay, you're live.
All right. Go ahead and call this planning commission meeting January 20th, 2025 to order. May have to help me with roll call, but we'll do a roll call. Nadesky.
Here.
What's your last name? Innes here. Epicelli here. Ridsdale absent. And are we counting Beavers?
Yep.
Sure.
Are you here? Do you have a packet? Do you want a packet? You're welcome to join us up at the big table here.
I'll try not to be at your
Feels more too official.
That's what you get for showing up.
I just don't wear my pants and fun.
No judgment. All right. Is there any public comment?
Nope.
Cool.
Well, it was, but.
I was just here to listen and show myself around.
And then reviewing the minutes from our last meeting. Is there any opposition to what is reported here? I'll make a note. I'll second that. All right, on to items of business. So the first thing that we have on the docket tonight is our annual review of the city's master plan. Is this something that we would be able to, can we get this emailed to Kevin so that he can review it for
Yes,
next month's
Yep.
meeting?
yep, I will send in the whole packet.
Okay. Thanks. So we talked about a little bit about this already, but this is part of what we have to have in order to be RRC compliant. And that certification helps us with getting permits for the city. So this is something that we do every year. So what we'll request is that everybody reviews it in detail. And then next month, when we congregate, we can talk about any suggestions, additions, subtractions, questions, whatever we might have. And then we would.
I'm gonna save you a sore neck.
Fair enough. All right. And then once we all agree on the way that plan looks, we agree that we like it, and then we send it to
Yep.
city council. Yeah.
Yep, and the city council approves it, and then it's sent to RRC, and we know that we've done them. Diligently. And all the red is the stuff that I put in there, like the questions and the two in black are just the common things that they want you to go over. So all the red is my report of all the things that you guys did last year.
Does this serve two purposes, then one, as a review of what was accomplished in
Yeah.
2024, and then what we're looking to do in 2025?
Yeah, if you want to change
Okay.
or add anything to those, because you'll see where it says, continuing to do, these are the things, these are the points that they want you to look at and hit. But if there's anything else you want to add to it, that you think you should review or go over or do in the next year, you can add it to that report.
I went through and made notes. I thought maybe I'll just either pop up town this week or next week and
Yeah.
just make sure I'm retaining or
Right.
comprehending
Right.
everything I'm looking at.
Yeah, well, and it wouldn't hurt, to be looking into the future because we are gonna do, the master plan over. So, which is gonna come up because I'm sure we're gonna have lots of public hearings and, asking, you to, come up with more things that the city thinks we'll do in the future for the next 5 years.
Yep. And there's, like when we redid it, a few years ago. There's things that we find that are irrelevant or redundant. There's also things that will remain on that master plan
Forever.
indefinitely.
Our
But
hopes
it's,
and dreams.
yeah, right. But it's work going through, the review of it is not terrible. The redoing the whole thing is a good amount of work, but it's worth it. And
It keeps the city on track. I
It
think,
does.
Where you can go, oh, what are we doing? Should we go back to the master plan and see if it's actually in there? Well,
exactly.
scrolling down different ways. But yeah, it's a good thing to have.
Yeah, and we tend to, as the planning commission, we use this master plan as a reference. There'll be things that get brought up from one direction or another. And, we're able to go back and say, I think we had that in the master plan. Let's check out what our progress is on that. So, it's a great tool and I will look forward to reviewing that with everyone next month. Are there any questions about that right now?
Malcolm,
So we're gonna look for a motion to table that until everybody's had a chance to review it and revisit it next month.
Make the motion.
Look, I will second that. We gotta do a roll call for that.
You don't have to, but you can if you want. Minutes,
Yes.
Peters,
Yeah.
Evangeline,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Aspen.
School is persistent. All right, next item of business on the docket is survey results. What are the results of the survey?
Well,
Oh, the survey, the questionnaire. I'm
Yes.
thinking land
Yeah.
survey.
this was, it was kind of. It's difficult because because of the way this. They wanted the survey to go, it kind of makes it hard to be like, these were definite, because kind of you're asking a lot of questions, so you get a lot of answers. I don't know if you guys went through it, but there's a lot of, there's a lot of answers, questions and answers. Everybody had their own opinion, so it was kind of hard to, kind of a willy-nilly.
I tried to break it into themes,
Yeah.
and like walkability downtown.
Yeah.
That seemed to be reoccurring.
Yeah, there are some that are like, the same kind of, yeah,
Taxation,
yeah,
everyone wants lower taxes.
Right.
But more services, but there were quite a few themes from what I saw, and it did seem people wanted to see a more walkable. Woodbury was mentioned, I don't know how, is the population of Laingsburg from, I Googled this at 1,400.
Yep.
So we had about 90 people respond, so it's what, 6%?
Yeah.
Which, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I would think.
for a random survey, like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, and we, you know, it was out there until our Facebook got hacked. You know, we got it done before that happened, so, and it went out to everybody that gets a tax bill. So that's everyone. So they had the opportunity to get on and take it too, so. Because we didn't have like a specific, you know, thing we were doing the survey for, you know, I think that kind of tends to people are like, you know, why do it? Some people, you know, like to do that and
Mhm.
you'll see the answers, you know, I mean, and some of them, you know, I thought there was, you know, majority, you know, like a lot of people were like, we need, you know, more food places here, you know, which we all know, you know.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it was interesting, and you know, we may be able to use it in the future too, so. It's always something we can go back on and go, well, what did the people want, you know?
Yeah, I thought it was useful.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how many people wanted more police.
Oh, yeah,
I-
well, and that has always been
Yeah.
half and half, like,
Mhm.
half the people think we should need 24 hours and half the people don't think we need police at all. And it's kind of been like that, well, my whole life, that I can remember.
Yeah, you're either for or against it.
Yeah, I can remember my in-laws, when they, you know, we were younger and in our 20s. They, half of them wanted and half of them didn't.
Yeah. This is the only other thing I picked up on was perhaps trend of people questioning what the taxes are being spent. And I would assume that that's fairly common.
Yeah, even though, even on there, you know, I mean, you guys know, you get your bill, it's got every, you know,
Yeah.
all the money. Janelle's actually going to, try and do a pie for the next bill. So, you know, maybe that'll help people go, okay, this percentage goes here, this, so maybe, you know, next to all those numbers, they can see that, maybe that'll answer more questions. And maybe, or people will look at it.
Transparency in a digestible form.
Yes,
People love
yes.
pie graphs.
Yeah. But yeah, she's gonna work on that for the next tax bill and see if that helps people, you know where this percentage is going to the actual city, this percentage is going to school, this is going to the state, you know, all those kids numbers.
So when we um, when we went through and created this, the intent was to have this be able to give us some direction in what we maybe should be focusing on as the planning commission, but as the city as well. So I think that, you know, we can review the results of this and digest it. And I think that this, all of this information will be great to
Yeah,
have.
and I know that, I don't know for sure, but I know that you guys have done surveys for the master plan previously, so I don't know if we'll have to need another one, or we can use this one. Could, you know, could be possible. I wasn't sure if it would be, you had to do one, but I know that it was done before. I mean, it's in there.
But yeah, I mean, this will be better and different, good information to have. With the new master plan coming up.
It was interesting to read.
A lot of comments. on
Yes.
this meeting.
Mhm. How's it? Yeah, more rentals, less rentals,
Yeah,
more availability.
yeah. Well, there's definitely a need for rentals. You get calls all the time for, you know, do we know anybody who's trying to? I mean, it is in the rent price here is pretty high, comparable, and people are still buying.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't think you could fail if you, if you rented a house in this town right now.
Percentage of rentals here is very high, is it one of those?
It's not huge, no, I mean, you know, besides the apartment.
25?
Yeah, we only have 2 apartment buildings.
Yeah.
So that, you know. Helps where some towns have a more, but we have quite a few rental houses as well, so, but that's gone down too.
Whatever ended up happening with the, project behind PDPs?
They kind of fell off the face of the earth. We tried to get a hold of them.
Oh.
The main thing was that, you know, they wanted to come in and, you know, be rentals, and what our problem was is that we would have had to pay for all the infrastructure, which we could have gotten the land cleaned up. That wasn't the big problem.
Yeah.
It was running all the sewers, the sidewalks, the road, that was gonna cost us quite a bit, and they did not want to really do that. They just want to come in and build and be done.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we came into kind of we couldn't do it. And then they just kind of flew away. We tried to get back with them because we've tried to, you know, we want to get the land cleaned up so that it could be
Yeah,
ready. And
Yeah.
but we can't do anything unless we have an investor. Get that paid for it.
I think Forbath is gonna try to get back to this. See if we can bring somebody else in.
Yeah, we've talked to him a couple times and we haven't heard yet, but
Yeah, cause he told me that he wanted to bring it.
yeah. But I think they just did a development in Durand or somewhere. Somewhere in Shiawassee County.
It might have been Durand. I know they talked about something in Durand.
Yeah.
I thought that there was thought at some point, we've been talking about, some type of grant to get that, to cover the cost of having land.
Yeah.
But there has to be an investor tied in
Yes.
with that.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can get a brownfield grant and they're all like, let us know as soon as we're
Yeah.
ready to go.
Yeah,
We can clean it up, it's not a problem. It's just you have to have someone signed that they're going to invest in that property.
What kind of development were they talking about?
It was originally gonna be like 50 some like kind of like condo type housing. And they were all, it was gonna be like 50, someone's gonna go clear back, way back. And then, some of the part of it really couldn't be done, was kind of wetland,
Too wet.
stuff like that, yeah. So they got it down to like 23, but it still was, we would have had to put in a road, would have had to, you know, we were willing to, but I mean, we have the sewer there, but we'd have to connect to all those and. Yeah, it just was a huge amount of money to do that. Not really in the position that they was with that much money into it. Was gonna fit.
is there, you know, cause, I mean, that's always, ever since I've been on this, the availability. Not only of housing, but, of rentals, that's always been. That's
Yeah,
always
this would have
been-
been awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, people were so excited about it. I
Mhm.
mean, you know, especially, you know, surveys and studies I've read, you know, that 20 somethings are really not into buying houses. You know, they want to rent and they want to rent someplace, a nice place, and they'll stay there for 10 years before they decide they want to buy. So, I mean, I have a 30-year-old daughter who hasn't bought a house yet, and she has
Yeah.
no desire to do it. You know, she's like, I don't know where I want to land forever, you know?
Responsibility, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know it would have been huge, I don't think it would have had any problem.
Yeah.
Renting it out, and they've talked about too, you know, seniors wanting something like that also, where they're not. Don't have responsibilities of housing and, you know, they would sell their house and move in, which would in turn give us houses to sell then
Mhm.
for people that didn't want to buy, so. That was another draw too for seniors to even run these places.
Feels like there's kind of that struggling downtown needs an influx of people using services, so how do you get an influx of people?
Yeah, which was another
In
huge
the
thing, because
survey.
it was gonna be right downtown and. Yeah. Yeah, that's still our goal, to be the right person.
Yeah. Any questions, comments, concerns about the survey results?
My only other comment, light was mentioned several times. And I know that you guys had passed, I watched a few of the meetings from last year trying to familiarize myself, and I know we passed that new, not ordinance, the,
Housing cleanup act.
The property.
Yeah.
Oh, property
Yeah,
meetings,
property
yeah.
meetings.
has
Yeah.
that bore any fruit, has that helped?
Yeah, it's given Dan a, like to stand on with some of the, issues that we were having, and he has, gone out and, warned or ticketed and let people know, some of the things, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. We didn't change a whole lot, there wasn't a ton, but, there was a few things in there that were needed to be addressed right away, and we got on it the minute that he could, so,
okay.
yeah. Yep. That took a while. Yeah.
It did. It did. We spent.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time.
Yes.
How did the planning board feel as a whole about the finished products? I know it went to council and got toned down quite a bit.
Yeah, so, that and the way we sent it to council was intentional. There's a lot of ground to cover. And there were some things that we all were kind of at different levels on, so we got as close as we were gonna get.
Yeah.
With all of those things.
Okay.
And that's the way it goes from here sometimes. I mean.
Well, that's one of the, that is a touchy subject of, you're gonna put too many rules, you're gonna have, not enough rules. And, back and forth, and people that, don't necessarily think we should have these rules, but then we have houses that, you're like, okay, we gotta do something about this, I mean, there's a couple houses that you can literally stand in this town, and stand in front of and go, okay, what do we want? And here it is.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, I think what kind of everybody landed on was like, okay, these are the problems. We need to make them, we need to get them in there, because these are the things that people are complaining about weekly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think we did get most of those in there that I think were immediate, like we need to do something about this, so. It was the little things, which I think, for planning and, we did those out too.
I mean, even what we sent to council. Was cut down. Quite a bit.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
From what
Yeah.
we started with.
Mhm.
Cause yeah, I mean, it's gotta be a balance between.
Yeah, when you see the comments in the survey, and the
Yeah.
number of people who, they like Chelsea, we want
Yeah.
like.
Right,
Well, you need to give our enforcement people enough
yeah,
leverage to then make changes. And if we're not doing that, maybe that's something we
Right.
revisit when we look at it next month. So.
Yeah.
That'd be my comment. I just was curious if Dan felt like he did have what he needed.
he did for, some immediate things that we really, I think we're pushing for that, that, we have a couple houses that was like, okay,
Well, yeah,
And there are things, we have going on, with businesses and stuff that just need to be done. They just are kind of relaxed and we
Mhm.
haven't, we haven't enforced some of the stuff that we already had in there, so. And it gets touchy with that too, it's like, okay, we've gone this long and nobody's done anything, now we're gonna come up and now there's a new person there, now we're gonna make them do it, But it's, it's the rules and
Mhm.
we gotta do it. Yes.
And that property maintenance, that's probably something that we'll review every.
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yeah.
Especially with feedback from Dan and calls up here. from the community.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we know best, who complains most,
Yep.
what they're complaining about. Unfortunately, sometimes.
You know. All right, good discussion. Any other comments on survey results? We'll move on to number 4, motion to approve Kevin Vidmar to the planning commission board.
I met him personally, he's very nice and ready to go, so.
This is a young man that is from,
Yeah.
that has
Yeah,
experience
he's
on
got
that.
experience, yeah. And, he just came in, out of blue, saw our post on Facebook about things, and he said, well, I've done on this, I have experience, so. I said, "Fill out an app." We can have 2, people from outside of there. You guys, motion,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We will welcome Kevin into the planning commission next month. All right, number 5, map training.
this is the same training that, Dina had taken.
Yeah.
So it's the first time I've received it, so I put it in there. Cause I know she got a lot out of it,
She
so
did.
if anybody's interested, let me know and. I know.
So to give some insight on what this is, there's a bunch of workshops and classes, thing dedicated to things, all things related planning and zoning. We had a member, is that 3 years ago that Dina did that?
Yeah,
I think it was 3
Yeah.
years ago.
yeah,
And she was able to take the time to, well, again, she was able to take the time to attend a ton of this stuff, and she got all kinds of booklets and pamphlets, and I think that then there was some online things that she did, but I mean, she came back and I think it was like for 2 or 3 months.
she had like 4 certificates.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we took, after that and while she was going through it, I think it was 2 or 3 months after she completed it. At the end of the meetings here, she spent like a half hour kind of debriefing and letting us know some of the highlighted things that she had learned and some different ideas. She got a ton out of it and brought that to us, which so in turn, the planning commission got a ton out of that experience. So, yeah, if there is anybody that has the time to do that, it is, based on what I know of her experience, it was well worth the time investment.
Guys have. Budgeted thing for training, so. Review it. I think I'm trying to do any of it. You can mail me, to call me, and then I'll sign up for it.
Awesome.
Also, you don't notice, we have tablets now. So, anybody who would like to look at the, go through, because everything you have in paper is on here. So, you let me know by the next meeting, you'd rather do it on a tablet, then I wanted to print it up. And copy it.
Cool.
5 of them, so far y'all get one.
I'll provide.
Okay. I pretty big, but I'm like, okay, they don't know yet, so I'm not gonna make it figure it out. Right. We set it all up, so all you have to do is push the button, because everything's highlighted in the blue, hyperlinked, so what you're looking at, you just hit that.
Very cool.
Yep.
When do we get those?
We ordered them on Black Friday, because
Oh.
we wanted to get a deal, so we got 5 of them for under $400.
Nice. Good work.
Trying to save the tree.
One tablet at a time.
Exactly.
Very good.
Any questions about the map training? All right, I think that closes out our items of business for the evening. Is there anything else from anybody anywhere that should be, could be, would like to be discussed?
I will keep you guys updated on the, grant for the master plan. We're looking at probably next week. We've got somebody who's working with us to get the grant, to try and get the grant, which we're pretty sure we'll get. We got everything we need. If not, there's another one. The one that we're applying for is a no match, so it's all money goes to doing it.
Very good.
If we didn't get this one, we go for another one, which is a 25% match. Still, pretty good. They're like 30,000.
Do we have any, I know that, we had the intern,
I love you.
thank you, yes. And she was great.
Yeah.
Do we have any internships or anything like that? Upcoming?
No, no, not unless one falls in our lap or we could have applied for another one.
Yeah.
But our chances would have been pretty low. Just had one, so they kind of,
I get you.
spread the wealth there.
Sure.
So we didn't apply for that, but, yeah, she was nice and ultimately, if we went with Main Street and went all the way through the Main Street program, that would hire somebody that would be pretty much on the issue with, do what the goal would be is to have her work with the DBA. And she also work with the split, whatever the wages that person brought in, and then they would do all the things they're living.
It would.
I mean, I think the Main Street alone could keep somebody busy. Just all the businesses and keeping that's a lot. We're chugging along and trying to get, keeping up with it and doing what we're supposed to do, because you've got to stay, where we're at, but whether we get to that level where we actually hire somebody. Then, what everybody wants to do, but we have a very big DDA right now. We have over 10 people right now.
Wow.
So, yeah. So. I want to take it over. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of work in the Main Street, but it's all good stuff. I mean, it's all, it's busy and keeping the downtown and keeping the businesses and, it really is. I mean, everything we do and I, see we can do and things we need to do. It's huge. Every city would dream to have it, really. Just focuses on your downtown and keeping it going and keeping everybody, in the LBCA does a lot, but they could take some of that off their plate if we had, this Main Street, the DDA, the LBCA and Main Street all working together to really push the businesses, keep the businesses happy, keep the, you know, all the businesses in the building, you know, keep going and, you know, we're in a unique position too, I think, because we're 15 miles from anything. So that's our downfall, but it's also why everybody wants to live here, you know?
Yep.
So we have a lot of people that come here and that would probably come here more that live, you know, in the Laingsburg address. That are already, they're going to different places.
Yeah.
They could come here. There's enough people to, I think. I mean, when I was a kid, every building, every business was open, there was not an empty building. And we didn't have half the people that are out here now. So it's doable. It's something we could do. We could get there.
Are there any rumblings about any of the empty storefronts? Any interest in?
There's always, you know, something talk, you know, we hear, but not anything, you know, we hear it and then we don't hear it for a while. And we hear a couple rumors and then we don't hear anything for a while, you know. Greg, I'm hoping we're gonna hear-
I'm still trying to see what I can do to move forward. So
that's my goal. I want that really bad, which that is something I think a lot of people. That has been like on every survey, that since I've been here, has been a huge thing, is to have a gym.
Yep.
Here in town.
Yep.
And I don't think it would fail. I think it
No,
would be
it's
huge.
just getting the money to get started.
Yeah,
Problem.
yeah.
But
And you
I'm
know.
still
yeah.
looking at it. Wife hasn't said no yet.
Do we have a lot of vacant still? I mean, I would think if veterans goes to the library now with tanks,
Yeah,
hopefully they open.
well, Jen will move down there and then we'll have those,
Oh,
Those-
yeah.
we'll have 3 right in a row there. Then, I mean, technically, someone owns the other building, but there's nothing in it. And then, you know, we kind of have half, people in Giefer's buildings at the end.
Oh,
You know, those 2 little businesses right there, but what, you know, those are not retail and that's really. We need here
Yeah,
to bring people to
Yeah,
town.
Yeah.
foot traffic.
We need things, you know, south, you know, in and out.
No, but we're, I'm looking at the possible the dance studio or the, Family Dollar building. If we move forward with the gym. And I've talked to Anytime Fitness. Looking about 300,000. So, but then we thought, well, maybe we just do our own thing without a sponsored name. So it's just getting some ducks in a row. It takes time to do these things. And of course, the wife dropped the thing today. It's like, well, how are you gonna have time to run 2 businesses? Well, this is your thing. But I'm still looking into it. Haven't stopped yet.
Cool.
I mean, the boutique out, you know, at the coffee shop was, you know, a great idea. You know, I think if it would have been downtown, might have been a little bit worse. I mean, I think, you know, when we had the little coffee shop downtown, that place was busy all the time. And I know the coffee shop is still busy out there, but it was nice to have the coffee shop down here. And I'm like, with Jen going down there and then having Dawn and Tiffany, and I'm like, somebody needs to open another coffee shop that's open during those business hours, you know? I'm like, we could have 3 coffee shops in this town of Bellevue. And it's so funny when somebody's like, oh, they're opening another business that can compete with me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you know how many hair salons are in this town? For as small as it is, there's 4 hair salons just in the city. I'm like, if they can do it, any business can do it.
Competition is good for business.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, if we could build that downtown corridor, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know if there's room to move like the grocery store or something. It just seems like that whole section of building there,
Yeah,
it just turns,
yeah, it does.
whether it's ownership or it's empty and.
Yep. Yeah, I just wish it was the downtown. I just wish they were all down here, you know?
Oh, because you might be able to give them some, 'cause I'm not sure, and that's always been a question I have, is what can we do on a government level to help?
Right,
Just incentives, really.
yeah, and I mean, we do.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think we, every person that, since I've been here, we've given incentives to open a new business, you know, buy a building,
Yeah.
you know, I think the city is very open to do whatever we can to keep businesses here.
I
and
mean,
keep them happy.
And that's something, anytime that we've had somebody come in. Posing variances or whatever the case may be. I mean, we always are trying to work with people to help them.
Yeah, the big thing
Yeah,
right
though.
now in zoning is there's a million grants out there right now for redoing your whole zoning thing again. And most of it's for housing, because of the lack of housing, everyone needs to like get more lax on their zoning. So like, you wanna build a mother-in-law suite behind your house. You need to let your zoning be a little bit easier to be able to do that because of housing problems. But I just have never, I've looked at him and I'm just like, we are so good about making that exception that I just feel like it's just a waste to redo it, because I feel like, we're always willing. Somebody comes in and wants some, nobody's going, no way, it's not gonna happen, we're just not
No.
that strict here,
Yeah.
so. I kind of, look them over and then I'm like, I still see this, we're doing it, I just don't think it's gonna change much.
I mean, there's only been, I could probably count on my hand the number of times that we've actually just flat out said, no, that's not
Right.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
I mean, usually we are able to, at the very least, come up with a compromise.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and make it work.
yeah, I think, in the past, I think zoning for towns were pretty strict too.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't, nobody's gonna touch this land and you can't do this, you can't, but I just don't see that here, so. I'm like, I don't think we need to rewrite it, I think it'll rewrite itself eventually,
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's a big thing right now, the SEVP is always sending us stuff about, gotta get lax on your zoning, you gotta, make room for these seniors that are gonna need places to live, and blah, 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 and I'm like. I think if it happens, we'll be all for it. I don't see anybody being too strict. I mean, our property maintenance was hard enough to get through. I don't.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, no matter what it is. You can always ask for a variance.
Right,
We can-
yeah. Yeah, so that, and I feel like
Discuss.
we're not a community that's very strict and, not typically like. Do that,
Well, the zoning seems to be like when the downtowns were healthy and thriving, we're really strict on our zoning, and
Yeah.
now it's the opposite.
Yeah,
People are like, how do we get people here?
Yeah.
We need to go the
Yeah,
other way and open the door and
exactly.
make it easy.
Yeah.
But where do you do that?
Yeah.
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 People aren't not coming here because of the zone.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. They're just nervous. Which would be too.
Anything else?
Nope.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
As far as, I'm good, what's
Yeah, I just come to say hi.
I don't know how you're gonna run two businesses and be at every single committee meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it even. I just, the first meeting, I was like, hey, I'm the mayor now, guys. I was gonna tell Anthony, he's like,
They
I don't,
wanted to,
I'm nothing
they
like
wanted
that.
to build the house.
I've heard some issues.
And- Yes.
So
They wanted to rent.
with what I do for work.
Yeah.
Are we offline?
Oh, no. Thanks for running it.
Yep.